Okay, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I hope you are a Patreon patron. If so, thank you for your patronage. We really need the support. Contributions are way down, so if you can find an extra $5 here or there to up your contribution, really appreciate it. If you're a subscriber on the YouTube channel, thank you. You're getting this real time as well. If you are a Prime member, and whether you're a subscriber or not, if you're a Prime member and have a Twitch account, link those two together. We have instructions in the show description below, and we get paid a couple bucks a month, so that will help out a lot. Please remember to do that. And if you haven't renewed it in a while, please go down and follow the instructions. It takes a second. It's a one click, and we'll keep getting paid. And if you're doing none of those things, follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. All right, our question today from YouTube, from Game Time. Elden Ring is the biggest selling new IP since The Division, but it's a very challenging game. A lot of people fell into the hype and bought it only to return it. How does the market handle games like this? Will retailers be less likely to order as many copies for the sequel? Or are they happy they can quickly sell some hot game twice? The answer is more likely than not, fewer than 5% of the copies are returned. I know people talk about it. Sold, different. Like, turn them in because it's too hard. I get it. I'd say it's sort of like the GoPro camera. It sounded like a good idea when you bought one, and then you don't use it. What are you going to do with it? But I don't believe that the impact on retail is as great as your question suggests it could be. If it were, let's think about a game that was a game as opposed to one that is just too hard. Cyberpunk, broken. And did you hear 50% of the people who bought Cyberpunk returned it? No. I heard a lot of people ask for their money back, but again, probably 5%. 95% said this game is unplayable and waited for a patch or whatever. Elden Ring, look, there was no secret that the game was going to be hard. Nobody expected it to be, Pokemon. I mean, they knew that it was going to be a challenging, difficult game. People bought into the hype because apparently the hardcore guys who love this type of game really just drooled over themselves about how great a game it was. And let's be real, how many people finished Grand Theft Auto 5? Like, I would bet fewer than 25% of the people who bought the game. I played it for 30 hours, and I'm sure I'm not half done. And honestly, I stopped because it got repetitive and I got bored. So I honestly think, guys who say it's too hard, put it on easy mode, get cheat codes. There is no easy mode. There isn't?
There are no cheat codes.
How could you have a game with no easy mode?
The first boss.
Oh, shit.
No, 70% of people beat the first boss, but
30% can't.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's that hard. It's legitimately that hard.
Why'd they make a game so hard?
Maybe you should ponder that in Pachter Factor.
The bigger impact, when you say, well, retailers order fewer copies, the cool thing about retail, first of all, games can be downloaded. So when you can download a game, you never run out of copies, right? So Microsoft, Sony, and Valve are never running out of copies of Elden Ring 2. Like, you'll be able to get one. If you want a physical copy, yes. If a retailer last time, let's just say Walmart, sold 300,000 units in the first week, and let's go crazy, and had 150,000 returned, and Elden Ring 2 comes out, they'll order 150,000. So your question is spot on. Yes. If demand is 500,000, they'll just be sold out for a week. But pretty much if you order refill, if you reorder on Monday morning, you have all the restock by Friday. So they'll be out of stock for 4 days the first week. And if demand is really 500,000, they'll order 350 the second week and they'll catch up. So the poor consumer is going to be forced to wait a week or download the game. So nobody's going to miss out. And I mean, let me say this in more concrete terms. And you guys, I assume my audience largely is under 40. Back in the days of when I was dating, pre-93, when you went to the movies, you stood in line because they used to put movies in the theater on physical film, and there was a big film reel, and they had a projector, and the film played, And so each of those reels of the film cost thousands of dollars. They were really expensive to make. And so a theater couldn't order 50 copies of the same film. So a 30-plex theater couldn't show all 30 screens Star Wars. They had to buy the Star Wars, film in a canister, and they would, sometimes they'd be on 2 screens, but they couldn't put it on all 30 screens. In the 2000s, probably 04, 05, there was something called the digital DCP. I can't remember what this stands for, but anyway, digital something partners, and the movie studios help the movie theaters convert to digital, and they actually use a server instead of a projector, and the server delivers the film. There still is a projector, so got a lens. But what that meant was, if you get a movie like Avatar or The Batman or Spider-Man No Way Home, and you want to put it on all 32 screens, you can. And so you know what happened to lines with the movie? They evaporated overnight. That's what's going on with games. So it used to be, and I'm not kidding, I remember, and you can help me with the year, I think it was 2010, when the last Elder Scrolls came out, Elder Scrolls 5. Was that 2010?
Skyrim, you mean?
Skyrim.
2011, I think.
2011. So I went to dinner on that Friday night, and I was drinking. So I took a cab to dinner. It was pre-Uber, and I took a cab home. And the cab driver, we drove by a GameStop, and it was like midnight, and there was a line around the block. And I go, "What is that?" Maybe it's Thursday night, but whatever. It was the day that game came out. And I didn't realize it was GameStop. And I go, "What are those people lined up for?" And the cab driver goes, "Oh, that's GameStop." And I go, "Skyrim." People stood in line to buy Skyrim because they weren't downloading digitally then, and so people used to go and stand in line at GameStop at midnight. I guess it was a Thursday night to get their copy. Be the first kid on their block to play it. So you just don't have those constraints anymore at retail. Retailers, I think GameStop will order as many copies as they wish. If the retailer orders copies and they don't sell, they're allowed to return them, the physical copies. So, the publisher takes the risk that the game doesn't sell. So retailers don't really care. Now, on returns, that's a little different because the packaging is broken, the game's been played. So I'm not sure if the retailer has the ability to return that to the publisher. And again, returns because I bought something that I can't handle. That's like my first Porsche. I got to say, it was a little scary. It was a little too fast for me. I didn't take it back. I figured out how to drive it. Same with my boat. I have a 700 horsepower outboard on my boat. That's fast, trust me. The first time I pushed it up, it was scary. But you know what? You figure out how to drive it. So Elden Ring, you know what? You spend the money, figure out how to play it. Now, I didn't realize there wasn't. How's there not an easy mode?
They refuse. That's their aesthetic, is they got to fight through it.
Yeah, but if you can't do it, you can't do it.
Pachter, this argument. How have you missed this argument on the internet and Twitter?
Because I don't care about Elden Ring.
It is the biggest debate.
Because I don't care about Elden Ring.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this company From Software, all their games.
No, I know
Dark
From.
Souls,
I know
it's the
From,
same
but
story.
I know,
they
but
won't put an easy mode in the game.
It's not published by anybody that I care about. So I don't care.
But it's a thing. Like, the fans of the game.
I did play Dark Souls.
Get angry that other people ask for an easy mode because they're like, oh, I can beat it.
Yeah, but they won't be able to beat it when they're my age, so then what?
They'll be salty. Then maybe they'll finally ask for an easy mode.
Yeah, see, that's not my kind of game.
You would hate it.
As you know.
You would hate it.
But see, so my kind of game is Diablo. I freaking love Diablo. Learn what you need to do. And, there are battles, but they're not that hard. And, nothing's that hard.
Everything can kill you in this game. Every little enemy can kill you with, 2 hits.
Oh. So you're constantly on guard.
The bosses kill you in 1 hit.
So you're constantly on guard. It's no fun.
I'm surprised you don't know about these games.
That one had... I
mean, since Elden Ring launched, people have been arguing about this.
I have no interest
crazy.
But I don't like Japanese games in general. Not all of them, but most.
But you're on Twitter enough that you should have caught wind of all this going on.
I did kind of, but I just tune it out because I don't care. Because like what I liked about Fallout was there was a way to get through everything if you figured it out.
Because, well, in Fallout, if you go quote-unquote the right way, there are enemies that you can kill easily when you're first starting. In this game, that never happens.
Oh, okay, right.
Like the very first little dude.
No, right. In Fallout, you get like a pistol with a fucking P gun.
But
BB.
you'll find guys that you can kill with that with a couple shots.
Right,
that
exactly.
never happens in these games.
Yeah, yeah. Because I when I played Fallout 3, and I can't remember exactly where it was, but there was this plasma rifle. But it was a stepped-up plasma rifle, and I remember it was like some dude's twin. I can't remember exactly what the mission was, but it was hidden, and I was reading about it. I was just reading about, if you really want to do well in the game, get that rifle.
Yeah.
So somebody who wrote the instructional guide to the game just goes, whatever you do, get that rifle. And I got that rifle, and I was freaking invincible.
Changed everything.
Yeah.
And nothing like that ever happens in these games.
The second time I played through it, because I told you I played through it as a good guy and a bad guy. The second time I played through it, the very first thing I did was I went and got that rifle. Because it was just like one shot. You just take one headshot and
There's no magic bullet like that in these games.
But that's how games should be.
You definitely would not like Elden Ring.
Okay.
That one.
All right, so the answer is that, the developers obviously get paid for selling a lot of units. It's bad business to make a game that alienates your audience. And so I use Cyberpunk as an example because they made a broken game that alienated the audience. And there are people who, when Cyberpunk 2088 come out, are going to say, oh, screw them. I didn't enjoy that last one, and that they only make buggy games. There are people who are going to play Elden Ring and say, screw them. That game's so freaking hard. I'm never going to play Elden Ring 2. No way. So, I think it's bad business to alienate your customer. And I think it's good business to have a game. All you have to do, again, they didn't do it, is have master level, so elite, most games have normal, hard, and easy, but you can even do elite and just make the elite thing for the elite player. But what if you're not an elite player? Jesus. So
welcome to the debate about France.
This
has been the debate
for
years and years.
There's only one right answer, and the right answer is, if you are in business of selling entertainment to people, make it approachable so more people can be entertained. That's the answer. If they don't believe that, that's great. There's a great book called The Fountainhead, and the protagonist is a guy named Howard Rourke, and Howard Rourke was banned from society because he was an architect and he designed things that the critics didn't like, but he was designing things that he thought would appeal to the average guy. So he went, this is the guy who put the easy button in Elden Ring, because he wanted to make something, but the purists said, no, it's got to be so hard, you've got to die on the first level. So he was an architect, and in the end he ended up prevailing. But it's all about that. It's about how you don't do something to please the critics. You do something to please who you're selling this to, your service to, or your product to. And so, I think your question is actually great, because the From Software guys are either gonna make a lot less money on the next one because of this and learn a lesson, or they're going to make a lot less money in the next one because they didn't learn a lesson, or they're going to learn the lesson now and make a lot more money because they made a more approachable game. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond, but consumers ultimately vote with their wallet, and if they decide they don't want to support these guys because they got taken advantage of the last time, that's totally fine. Thanks for joining us on SIFTD.net as a Patreon patron. And if you are paying monthly, thank you. Keep it up if you can. You can squeeze an extra $1 or $2 into the account. Like I said, Shane is just dying here, so we need all the help we can get. If you are a YouTube subscriber, thank you so much. Please remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. And that's automatic. Just follow the instructions in the show description below. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter, and I will see you next time.